Black Voices for Trump is still in custody. His name is Harrison Floyd, the only co-defendant forced to remain in jail after a Georgia judge, probably racist, refused to issue bond over a risk to commit additional felonies and flee the jurisdiction. What? Harrison Floyd still being held in custody. Former U.S. Marine and mixed martial arts fighter is accused of participating in a scheme to pressure an election worker to falsely admit to voting fraud. On Thursday, he surrendered to Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, but unlike the 18 other people, the procedure to set bail was complicated by his arrest in Maryland on May of charges of assaulting FBI agents who tried to serve him with a subpoena. They're saying that he got a little bit aggressive, and so that's an extenuating factor that is not going to justify his release. He spent Thursday night in the infamous jail and on Friday appeared before a judge. Her name is Emily Richardson via video link. We're going to watch through that to plead with her to release him without paying bail. And this is a big issue across this country. You know, it's like rich people get out of custody because they can afford it, can post bond, they can hire lawyers, and they can bring in big teams of powerhouses. But not everybody has that capability. And some people, often minority, get the raw end of the deal. People like this person here right now, he's in custody. This could be racism from this judge. It's hard to tell. We don't know yet. But one of these things is not like the others. Why is only one guy in custody? So we're going to go through the hearing. The bond hearing took place. You see this man sitting right there, incarcerated thanks to Big Fanny and Georgia Fulton County, a U.S. Marine, mixed martial artist, somebody, Black Voices for Trump. They keep saying that Trump is the racist. They're the ones doing this to this man. Unbelievable. So he appeared by video link. Floyd told the judge that it typically costs between $40,000 and $100,000 to just retain a private lawyer to fly to Florida. Obviously, right? It's nuts. I can't afford an attorney for something like this. I can't put my family in debt. Richardson told Floyd he could either hire a lawyer or represent himself. Not going to give him a public defender. Probably says he makes too much money or something. Oh, sorry, you're not eligible. So you've got to come out of pocket for our scam, partisan hack charges. Generally, defendant must meet certain financial requirements to qualify. Look at this dude. Look at those cauliflower ears, man. This dude is a monster. You don't mess with people who look like this, right? You see these ears right here? Don't play around with that, ever. In fact, just open the door for him. Just say, welcome in, sir. Come on in. That's how you know that that dude can throw down, all right? Just so we're clear on that. Let's look at his outfit, man. Sharp as can be. Look at this dude. Look at that outfit, man. Yeah, that looks sharp, dude. Gosh, all right. So they also arrested this woman. Trevian Cuddy was beaming in her mugshot. Good for her. Looking fabulous. Outstanding. Nice looking woman. And you see here, is this Floyd? Yeah, here's Floyd. He's over here. He's speaking to Republican activists in 2020, and they took him out because he was too damn effective. He was too useful for the right. They can't have too many black people supporting Trump out there. That could be a big problem for him. So he gets arrested, held without bond by what I can only presume is a racist judge. All of these other white people are out of custody. Look at this. Trump's out. Rudy's out. Eastman's out. Meadows out. Chesebro's out. Clark's out. Jenna Ellis is a white woman. She's out. And everybody else is out but the black guy because this judge, I have to just presume it's the judge and Fanny. For now, Floyd is going to remain in Fulton County, which is being investigated by the DOJ. So broken and incapacitated that they're also being investigated for violence and unsanitary conditions, as well as 15 inmate deaths last year. So Fanny and Fulton County and everybody who is in charge there are so incompetent. We've got 15 dead people. That's not supposed to happen, right? Even if you think, you know, they're criminals or whatever, throw them away with the trash. I don't at all. But people who are in a broken position, have their freedom taken from them, and they're in the custody of the government, should be in the care of the government. It's just like if you're responsible for a toddler, you're responsible for the toddler. You got to make sure that nothing happens to that kid or your pets or whatever, right? These are human beings that are in custody of other people. They should not be allowed to just die. They weren't sentenced to death, but they're dead thanks to the government. And it's unsanitary. And you've got psychopaths like that woman on MSNBC laughing about it because Trump's going there. They're all just like dead people. Wow. One of those man whose family says in a lawsuit, look, he was eaten alive by bed bugs. That was one of the most horrific stories, right? They just let him rot in a jail. It was so disgusting that he got killed by a bed bug infestation, according to his family. This is in Georgia. Floyd had maintained the man in custody. He is not a flight risk, but he was told that the issue of bond would ultimately be decided by Judge McAfee. There are grounds for bond to be denied at this point, said Richardson. I'm going to go ahead and find that you are a risk to commit additional felonies and a potential risk to flee the jurisdiction. So I'm going to deny bond. No bond. They didn't even post it. They didn't even allow him him an opportunity. They allow people who've committed homicide to post bond and other assaults to post bond, but not him. He's a little too close to Trump. All 18 other defendants in this case have been released after posting bond. Trevian Cuddy, another one, publicist for Kanye West, were the final two to surrender. Bail amounts were in the amounts of $200,000 to $100,000. Sidney Powell is asking for a speedy trial, and Floyd's appearance comes after all of the other teammates of Trump get arrested. And we see Floyd is right over here on the right. So Big Fanny just keeps taking out everybody who's on the wrong team. This is what the proceeding looked like in Georgia. He's saying,
hold on a second,
still have not gotten Mirandized.
I'm not taking any statements from you today, all right? So we're not dealing with that. What
Typical.
Today is just where I advise you of your rights and advise you of the charges that have been brought against you, and then talk to you about your right to counsel and your appointment of counsel, okay? So first I want to talk to you about your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You need to be aware that the state, the DA's office, is present here at this hearing, and so I advise you to remain silent. You have the right to a lawyer. And if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you at no cost. All right? Are you aware of the charges that have been brought against you in this indictment?
I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
Okay. I'm referring to the indictment where you have been charged in count 1 with violation of the Georgia RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, as well as in counts 30 and 31, which is for conspiracy to commit solicitation of false statements and writings and influencing witnesses. So those are the charges that have been brought against you in this indictment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I believe those are the same ones that the DA's office called and threatened and coerced my in-laws with, trying to get me down here. I think those are the same ones.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Floyd.
He's making some comments.
Your case has been assigned to Judge Scott McAfee. All right. He's going to be the judge who is assigned to your case, who's going to be handling it from this point forward. I am just handling this first appearance hearing today because I am filling in for the presiding judge.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't want to make any hard decisions.
Okay. At this point, I will hear
anything
from the state. Is there anything the state needs to add?
All right, government.
I'm with the state, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Adam, nothing further. These prosecutors. Hey, Fanny.
Mr.
Hey, where's Fanny? Big Fanny's not even in the courtroom while she's going to be incarcerating a black man in Georgia, huh? The only black man of the 19 co-defendants. Look at this. White judge and 3 white prosecutors. Isn't this just convenient? Isn't this convenient? All judging a black man in Georgia while they're screaming that the man who is a part of leads Black Voices for Trump is being incarcerated without being assigned a lawyer and without bond. Look at this scene. Unbelievable. Are the people of Atlanta happy about this? This is, talk about some white privilege right here. Oh my goodness.
Floyd, have you retained a lawyer?
I requested one that had been denied.
Okay.
I
so
was
you
denied.
have spoken with someone from the public defender's office, and you were told that you do not qualify. Is that correct?
Denied representation, yes, that's correct.
Doesn't
Okay.
qualify.
All right, so Mr. Floyd, you have the right to then
discrimination.
hire a lawyer of your choice, or of course you're always welcome to proceed pro se. But because you do not qualify for a public defender, you have the right to retain a lawyer of your choice.
Yeah, so you're too rich. Sorry, we're not going to give you a lawyer. So you have to spend your money that we think you have, whether you have it or not. We've done an analysis. You filled out a form. We said you're too rich. Public defender's office says, hey, go see if you qualify. Nope, you're too rich. Go hire somebody. I don't have a budget, Your Honor, for a $100,000 defense attorney. I don't have legal insurance or anything like this. So you're not going to give me a lawyer? This white judge is not going to give this black guy a lawyer? This feels like discrimination to me. In Atlanta, some even people might say it is systemic racism throughout the entire institution of the Justice Department. Certainly feels that way to me.
Okay?
I've spoken with several different attorneys for flying out here. The cost is typically between $40,000 to $100,000 just to retain a lawyer for these charges. And then they charge hourly that I cannot afford. I'm not going to put my family in that kind of debt.
They say you can't afford it.
Especially with my daughter. I cannot afford an attorney for something like this.
Okay.
They say
you
can.
Scott McAfee, Judge McAfee will go through the process if you choose to represent yourself.
Because I can't help
and to
you.
not retain a lawyer. He will go through that process and those questions with you. I just want to advise you of your right at this point.
Useless.
That if you wish to
Thanks,
hire
Judge.
a lawyer, you have the right to do so.
Thanks,
okay?
Judge. Great job.
Okay. All right. Pretrial services. Can you give me any information about Mr. Floyd's criminal history?
Yes, ma'am. I have one prior from May 15th, 2023.
May 15th.
Maryland FBI. It was simple assault.
Yeah.
Simple assault on a federal officer, and it was given bail supervision, 5 years on charge of simple assault, misdemeanor. Nothing further.
Misdemeanor assault in May 2023 by some probably loser whiner FBI agent. We know the FBI, okay? If you leave a window open and they get hit with a strong breeze, felony charges. Did you just assault me? You did. I'm in your home. You opened the window. I'm assaulted in your home. So simple assault, misdemeanor charge. Assault, my friends, I know it sounds super scary. It's meaningless, right? It's almost nothing. If you poke somebody like this here, it's an offensive touch, essentially is what it is. It's an intentional offensive touch. Boom, you touch the guy, you push the guy, you nudge the guy, you bump the guy, you chest bump the guy. Felony, because it's an officer, right? You touch him the wrong way. And this happens all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. I've seen officers write in police reports that they were assaulted. I've gotten the body cameras and shown the prosecutors what their little bitchy officers have complained about. And they just go, oh my God, you're okay. And they'll dismiss the charge. Or they'll give you a smoking deal because it is just a joke, right? Officers, FBI, they're always assaulted. You look at them the wrong way, I'm assaulted. So they go to serve him with fake garbage charges on this thing. And an FBI agent maybe have provoked him or bumped into him first or whatever, but he's not an FBI agent. So he gets charged with a crime for that. They put him on pretrial services and they use that incident here in this case. So they basically bait him getting irritated because they're charging him with fake garbage crimes out of Georgia. He reacts, they hit him again. They use that crime to keep him in custody.
That's still an open case, Your Honor. It's not, I do not have a criminal record.
I understand, Mr. Floyd. Thank you. I understand that it's just charges against you.
Just charges. He's still innocent.
All right. All right. Okay, Mr. Floyd, the issue of bond is not going to be addressed today. That's going to be addressed by Judge McAfee, who's assigned to your case.
Because Judge Emily doesn't want to do it.
But to the extent that you're
She's
here
smiling.
in front of a judge, I do find that based on the open charge against you, there are grounds for bond to be denied at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and find that you are a risk to commit additional felonies and a potential risk to flee the jurisdiction.
Yeah, more felonies.
So I'm going to deny bond, but
with that smile,
a full consideration of bond will be addressed by Judge McAfee as your case moves forward.
Look at her smile. Look at her.
So the charges brought against me by the federal government were first presented to the state by the FBI. The state decided to not prosecute. On the day they decided not to prosecute, the U.S. attorney in the state of Maryland notified my attorney that they would take up the charges. The charge is a simple misdemeanor, ma'am. I got on a plane. I voluntarily came here. I am already on federal pretrial supervision. I've had no issues with being on pretrial supervision. There's no way that I'm a flight risk, ma'am. I showed up before the president was here.
You're talking to a dead log.
I understand, Mr. Floyd.
You're talking to nobody.
The issue of bond is not going to be decided by me. It's going to be decided by the judge who is assigned to handle your case, okay? This is just a first appearance hearing for a case that's already been indicted. I was just letting you know that it's not, we're not going to have a bond hearing today.
I can't help you, sorry.
To the extent that
just smiling,
you are before a judge, I'm telling you that
laughing.
Bond is not going to be issued today.
Yeah.
All right?
When will that next hearing be, ma'am?
That'll be up to Judge McAfee.
Useless.
All right, Judge McAfee is going to be the one who's handling your case. This is just your first appearance hearing to notify you of your rights and notify you of the charges that have been brought against you.
U.S. Marine going back to jail.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we're doing today, Mr. Floyd.
Thanks, Judge. Thanks for your uselessness.
Further.
So this is Judge Emily Richardson, who is laughing and giddy as she is sentencing or holding a black man in custody with a bunch of 3 white prosecutors, all laughing at this whole thing. The leader of Black Voices for Trump denied bail because some FBI agent complained in Maryland in May for a simple misdemeanor assault. And they say that he's just too rich. He's got too much money. He should go hire a lawyer at $100,000 a pop. And if he can't do it, they're not going to give him one, and they're going to hold him in custody until another judge makes a decision. So this is how it works. Unfortunately, you have useless judges who are just giddy about prosecuting their political enemies. She can't even hide it off of her face. She's so happy about this. Thrilled. And so you've got another miscarriage of justice justified by people who think that they are doing justice, and she's not even going to listen to him. She says, sorry, not my job. And she's going to go right back off the bench, go back, have her coffee, and move on to the rest of the day. So it's another travesty of justice. I'm curious if the people in Atlanta are okay with this. And what appears to me to be systemic racism occurring all across Fulton County. And it's not just systemic against this individual because he's black. It's against this individual because he's a Trump supporter. He's a Republican. He's a GOPer. And all of these people are getting dogpiled on by this corrupt entity. This is just one example of a man who is getting extra abuse because he's not playing their game. He's not emptying his bank accounts and going out and maxing out his credit cards. So he's going to stay in custody. Disgusting people and behavior in Georgia, and we'll continue to cover.